Before I watch this video, I don't think DBD is dying. I think people are just bored and they want something new. They want something different. I think the only thing that's dying is the player base attention span. The Skull Merchant wasn't strong enough. I need more juice.
I really hate to say it, but I think we all know it's true at this point. Dead by Daylight is not in a good place. And I think it comes down to 3 reasons, so let's talk about it. Reason number 1 is hackers. Because although behavior has been banning tens of thousands of hackers, and they've also made it to where hackers can no longer hold people hostage in games anymore, which was a huge problem a few months back, they are still able to easily go in and get people's IP addresses and DDoS them, or tank their internet, essentially. They can just look at a lobby with your username and just figure out where you are and completely shut your internet off. Dead by Daylight is clearly not a safe place to be, especially if you stream the game.
Yeah, so I've gotten DDoS twice. Starva's gotten DDoS 3 times. Hens has gotten DDoS, like, I don't know, 3 times. There are ways to work around this. Unfortunately, it's just that they're not as well known. If you go to the settings, okay, go to in-game and go to Steam networking. Allow games using Steam networking to share my IP address for a faster connection. Set this to never. And as far as I know, it should help with the DDoSing. It's not going to share your IP address and going on Epic Games. But yeah, fair point. People don't feel safe.
I've also been targeting people in other ways. Myself, I've had the same hacker stalking me for a year, and what they do is they wait till I go live, then they log on to a PC account with a Prestige 100 Bubba, and they start hacking, flying around, instantly killing people.
Wait, they still do this?
In the endgame chat, they tell people to kill themselves.
Oh my god, wait, they still do this? What the heck?
And say that they like little kids.
What?
Among other things. So then people will come to my chat and say, you know, I'm reporting you, you're a cheater. They do it so people will come and accuse me of cheating, and that it causes a big ruckus during my streams, so people will accuse me of not only cheating, but saying really terrible things to people.
Dude, I go on Reddit, and I see on the forum, like, my god, Spook and Jukes is the most toxic Twitch streamer I've ever seen. Spook and Jukes, he's so mean to people. No, dude, there are people impersonating you. Holy crap. Oh my god, that's really bad. That is really bad.
Obviously, there's not much I can do about this. I just have to say, hey, I play on PlayStation, and yeah, that wasn't me. You can look at the VOD, and yeah, that's about all I can do. The second reason Dead by Daylight is in a really bad place right now is because the new content they've been releasing is complete and utter shit. First, there was the Knight, who was this super cool, badass medieval knight who zones people. Puts down guards and just makes them run away, makes them run forward. Yeah, that's what the knight does. Not to mention the map that he came with is also I don't even remember what the name of the map is.
I don't know if I agree with the map, but maybe it's because I'm a Huntress main and I cross-map people, so it doesn't affect me that much. But the knight still had a cool design. I think my issue with him is the boring 3-gen setup playstyle stuff. Maybe that's just me though.
As I always
and then nowhere to hide.
I actually forget that the map even exists until I randomly get the map in rotation, because nobody uses the map offering, at least not that I see. I'll randomly appear on that map and I'll go, oh wow, I forgot that this garbage exists. He does have a decent Mori though, so I'll give him that. And then we have the Skull Merchant. Most of you know how I feel about the Skull Merchant. It's the same way most people feel about the Skull Merchant. Right? We all thought we were going to get this really awesome, badass cyborg killer. Yeah. And what did we get? Another zoning killer.
Yeah, so basically 3-gen Knight 2.0. You don't like this guy? You don't like him? We're going to make him number 2. It's going to be worse because I think her 3-gen stronger than his. So they're like, yeah, you don't like him? Oh, well, too bad. We're going to double down.
Hold forward or you die. And guess what? When it gets to 3 gens left, you just place down your drones on the gens. It's so fun. It's such a good time.
Okay, hot take. I know this is boring as to face, but I love going against this shit. Maybe it's because I'm a masochist, but I love to crush the souls of people who run a 3-gen setup. I don't believe you. I just want to crush the souls. I mean, just the sweat lords. So don't. Is that entertaining?
I think that Vittorio is really cool. I also think that
he's like a thirst trap. Well, he's cool. He's like a badass old man.
Thalita and Renato are also really cool. So the survivors
are pretty sick.
Cool. I like them. But the killers, complete ass. I think it's also the fact that it was back to back. You wait 3 months and you get the night and you're like, ugh. And then you wait 3 more months and you're like, all right. And then you get the skull merchant and you're like, ugh. They both feel lazy and uninspired. Luckily, the next chapter will be during Dead by Daylight's anniversary, which they usually reveal something big and cool.
I think it's almost guaranteed to be a good killing. It is no shot that the anniversary is always terrible.
I really hope it's not a third Resident Evil chapter.
It's Five Nights at Freddy's and the 12-year-olds are going to take over.
And I think Resident Evil's cool, but for the love of God, something new. But hey, you know what? Even if it is a third Resident Evil chapter, it'll still probably be better than the 2 dumpster fires we just got. Reason number 3, this game is dying and in a terrible place. It's a big shocker. It's the player base. It's the community.
Yeah.
I still, to this day, cannot believe the amount of whiny, fully grown, tantrum-throwing adult toddlers that play this game. If it's not people in the endgame chat blowing up at people, calling them names or slurs or threatening them.
I make a goddamn mistake and they're like, holy shit, Coconut, I was trying to take a dump in the woods and you're yelling at me. Or even I throw a cross map and then they call me a cheater.
It's people on Twitter just posting screenshots of endgame chats or pictures of them getting slugged on the ground and just wah boo hoo, my fucking life is over. I don't know what I'm gonna do. God help me. Some of you really need to take a long hard look in the mirror and get your shit together. Someone just sent me a clip of a TTV that told another TTV to themselves because the killer camped when all the gens were done. That's actually the next video that I'm posting after this one, so be on the lookout. If your idea of fun revolves solely around how other people play, I've got a news flash for you. You need to take your PC or your console and put it in the fucking trash can, because that's not how games work and that's not how the world works.
That's true.
It's perfectly okay to not like certain playstyles or certain killers or certain perks. Nothing wrong with that. But guess what? You can just go to the next game. Go to the next fucking match. You don't have to just dig into them and insult them and take screenshots and post it on Twitter. And
they're like, okay, what can I do to get clout? Oh, Coconut made me upset. So let me milk him for juice so that I could get extra Twitter followers, or I could get extra Reddit karma to create drama. Your EPing grows every single time. I think people are getting shorter attention spans through the means of TikTok and YouTube Shorts. And it's made people become more impulsive over time. I think a good reason why the DbD community is so impulsive and whiny and bitchy is because their attention spans have gone past hell and they're short as and they'll just disconnect for any little thing that upsets them due to the shortened attention span. But in turn, this is something that affects all gaming communities in general, and there's nothing really you can do about that except on the front of Shorts and TikTok and their respective companies that own them.
Look at this fucking person slugging me. I can't believe it. They must be banned.
It's absolutely mind-blowing. And you want to know the saddest part? Is that I believe that Reason 1 and 2 can actually be fixed. Like, I think that Behavior can solve the hacking issue. They've already been working on it. I think that they can make their game more secure, and I hope that they will. And I also think that they can make better chapters.
You want to know something? When they did the 39 perk rework, there was a period of time for like 2 to 3 months that was like a golden era where everyone was experimenting and the game felt like it was fun again. If the devs were able to keep things fresh and everything feels like it's flowing, it would be nice and chill.
By releasing killers and survivors and maps that are really fun and new perks and stuff like that. I think those 2 things can be fixed, but I don't think Reason 3 can be fixed at this point. Every time I go on Twitter, every time I check my emails and see what people have sent me and the experiences they've had with players in this game, it just reminds me that this is never going to change.
I honestly think it can't be changed for the reason I said before. It's in deep connection with shortening attention spans across the entire world, something that we can't control.
Because if the player base wasn't so elitist and standoffish and entitled, I think that the player base would be much higher. I think more people would stick around.
The worldwide
people
phenomenon.
load in and they start playing a match as killer or even survivor, and they just have people fucking screaming at them, taking their information and putting it on Twitter, taking their information and putting it on their fucking stream to shame them for what they did, how they played the game. It is pure insanity, and the fact that some of you can't realize the way that you're acting and how absolutely absurd it is, I have no words. Dark times in Dead by Daylight. Let's hope it gets better.
I don't think the game isn't particularly dying, but I did this lecture once before. I'll do it again. A lot to do with like kids, right? And they grow up with parents. And like little Jimmy, right? Little Jimmy starts crying because mommy won't buy him the toy ducky water park tube. Jimmy starts crying and mommy's like, I'll buy you the goddamn toy tube. And then Jimmy's happy again. Jimmy's happy. And then Jimmy starts crying again. He's like, why won't you buy me the goddamn Pokemon Master Ball? And then mommy feels bad. And then she buys Jimmy the goddamn Pokemon Master Ball. Jimmy gets the goddamn Master Ball. And it's like, mommy, why won't you buy me my goddamn yacht? And then he's like, oh, I'm so sorry, Jimmy. So then mommy buys Jimmy the goddamn yacht. All right. He buys him a whole boat, and over time Jimmy learns to get whatever he wants by crying. Jimmy grows up in the real world, and what has he learned from his mother? All right, what has he learned from Karen? He's like, if I complain, I'll always get what I want. And then Jimmy learns about Dead by Daylight, and then Jimmy plays Dead by Daylight. He has fun for a good bit, and then all of a sudden the killer tunnels him off hook. Do you know what he does? He starts complaining on Twitter. He starts complaining on Reddit. And then now we have this storm. 5 million little Jimmys crying whenever things don't go their way. Where they're raised in a world about, if I complain, I'll get everything I want. It's predominantly a generational issue that we have no control over. We can't control anything. You know what, Spooks? You said that this can't be fixed. You want to know why it feels like it can't be fixed? Because the requirements to change this require therapy. It almost feels like half the community needs a therapist. I know that's a hot take, but if you grow up in a world where if you think you always get what you want by complaining, that sounds like you need, like, it's a therapy type thing. You can't change that. I personally don't think the game's dying. I think it's a worldwide phenomena. All games are getting impacted. And what, will all games die? Probably not, but I don't know. Your takes are true. Everything that he said is true. Very true. The issues with the game are predominantly a generational issue. That is something that we cannot control inherently at all.